you can have all the resources that you have in place. You have coaches, you have someone there to show you everything, pay for doing your services.
Mhm.
You're in it. But if you don't want it, you don't deserve it,
Yeah.
right? If you're not working for it, like bro, like, you don't deserve it. But you also have that dog in you,
That
right?
dog
Like you
in
have
you.
to you have to
That
want
dog.
it because no one's gonna want it more than you,
Yeah.
right?
Even if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going in with 110% confidence. What's the deal? They're really making it okay for you to not face your problems.
Sell the
Confidence is
product,
key in
100%.
almost everything in life, but definitely in sales.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up today, guys? My name is Brandon Obey. This is the Overloaded Podcast. That is Kyler Dorsey. That is Ian Langer. We've got an awesome one for you today. Our guest is Tai Pham. Tai, go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Tai Pham. I am the founder and CEO of Asian Boss Boy, trying to help Asian American guys become more confident through fitness.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, man. What got you wanting to help Asian American men?
Oh man, it started from me, to be honest. Like I wish I had someone that was like me and wanted to be more confident, right? So there's a huge backstory to this.
Okay.
I always loved fitness. I had a mentor back when I was 12, right? Coach, uncle, very hard on us. And when I say us, it's me, my brother, and his son, Mr. Lee. And Mr. Lee was pretty much, he's very uncle-esque. Like he will hit you with a bamboo stick. Like, no joke, no lie. He'll hit you. And I needed that, right? I grew up very feminine. I was raised by my mom. My dad wasn't really around because he was taking care of the family. And, I needed someone there to really push me into become that man, right? Like as bad as it is right now, when we say, let's man up, I needed that, right? We got to be a man. So, I mean, from there, it really, catapulted me to pursue fitness and help other guys. I mean, we can always go through the backstory of like how I got started into the online fitness business, but like right now it's like really focused on helping guys get into amazing shape, feel good, be able to create this community that I can truly call my brothers and just have a good time, man. Like I would love to have like ton of Asian guys that I see become confident, look good, feel good. I mean, I just literally filmed a vlog with a new friend I met at Starbucks, and he's super confident. He's only 19. Like, man, I wish I had this confidence, this charisma that you had when I was 19.
So what do you think made you not have so much confidence other than your dad not being around a lot? What do you think brought you down?
I think I wasn't exposed to it. I wasn't exposed to anybody that was confident. I wasn't taught this. I was taught to be that nice guy, right? When you're taught by your mom or a female figure, you have those characteristics of that feminine energy, right? So I came off as that nice guy.
We all know women do not like nice guys.
It's not bad. I mean, I grew up with that. I wasn't taught that. A lot of my friends weren't confident as well. So when you're surrounded by so many other guys that are, very similar with you, you kind of gravitate towards that, right? Even when I was in high school, I was good at tennis. People knew me. I was popular, but I was in that realm of like, oh, I'm good at this, but I don't really know the popular guys. I know my good friends are dope, but they're kind of weird. They're in this nerdy realm. So I'm in this middle, trying to figure out where I want to be, right? Do I fake it? Or do I really want to be myself and be with these guys, which 99% do want to be with them, but that 1% is like, oh, I want to be like that popular kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't taught that.
So
until later.
Were you fit in high school or no? Because I understand, man. I was on Team Thick Boy and in high school for sure. So were you thick in high school, or you've always been kind of in shape?
I was skinny fat in high school. Yeah. So I started working out when I was about 15. Started breakdancing as well, and that really helped with my confidence. I think going back to confidence, being around guys that are dancers, you got to put yourself out there, right? You're performing, you're competing, and also you're a part of a community of guys that are trying to get better.
Yeah.
So I had like a crew. Like we literally had a crew. We call each other family, and that really helped with my confidence. Really helped with trying to level up. But when in high school, I was always skinny fat. Skinny fat. I started working out a couple of years, built some muscle, built a good frame. And then in the last few years, actually been in the best shape of my life, or just feel really good about myself and love myself, to be honest.
So tell me this, where'd you get your confidence? Because I know, especially when it comes to speaking to girls, I'd love to hear that first story before you got your confidence of how you started talking to girls. How did that work out?
Oh man, that's honestly, how do I start talking to girls and being confident? So I went to an event in Dallas, right? And everyone was in suits. It was called the Standard event, Standard experience. So it was 30 guys and very attractive women as well. And I was able to connect with a lot of guys at this event. But I couldn't talk to any of the girls. Not that I was attracted to them or had any romantic intent. I just didn't know how to go up to them and just have a conversation, right? So after that, I decided to say, hey, I think I want to really level up my social skills. And I told the guys, like, hey, I think, I want to go to the next event, which is Miami. Yeah. And make sure that I can actually have this communication skills, the social skills to talk to everybody, the guys and the girls. So what I did was I got a coach, right? I got a dating coach. He was Asian American as well. And it wasn't just dating, it was social skills. For me, I'm willing to spend for speed, right? I'd rather pay for speed and learn as fast as I can and then execute. I'd rather not just watch YouTube videos, say, okay, watch infield clips of people do that and advice videos. I'm like, I'd rather hire someone to help me with my business, my social skills, my communication skills, whatever I'm lacking, so I can get to the next step.
100%. And I wanted to bring you in this because I feel like you're a person that's always had a lot of confidence. So I want to hear your origin story on this part and see how you came up with all that confidence and all that suave you got over there.
Oh my gosh. So it's actually a pretty interesting story. I have not always been this way.
Really?
At a young age, you talked about being fat when you were younger or, a little bit overweight.
Little's an understatement. But
I was probably in 7th grade, and I was a bigger kid. I always had a ton of friends. I always hung out with like popular kids in the group. I had one kid now who's playing professional baseball. His name's Kyle Moeller, and then my other good friend Chris Campagna. Not to name drop or anything, but we always were we always were in this like community, and we always hung out. Well, we ended up going to a school called Jesuit in Dallas, and I kind of translated some of the same mentality I had from a younger age. I couldn't really talk. I mean, I could talk to anybody, but I couldn't get a girl interested in me. Then it kind of went into high school. I played football. I ended up losing a bunch of weight. Went from like 200 pounds to like 175, and then I quit playing football and started playing baseball. So around that same time, you're gonna laugh at this. Dallas Jesuit had iPads instead of laptops.
Of course.
It sounds about right.
We had a lot of access to gaming, and I kind of got like antisocial. So I started sitting like by myself, different areas, didn't really talk to people, and I started kind of getting bullied because they noticed that I was just different than everybody. I noticed it as like, I knew I was different because I didn't think how they thought. I thought monetarily. I thought, I want something for my life. I want to be a professional baseball player at the time. Little did I find out I would become business, but I always knew I was different. So my junior year, I actually did 2 at-home programs. Sean T from, what's his program called? I don't know. Sean T is one of the video guys that does, puts a lot of programs together. And I did one of his programs for like 12 to 24 weeks. So I dropped down I actually got all the way up to like 230, just eating like pizza rolls, whatever I wanted, playing video games. And I kind of disassociated myself from others. Well, I dropped back down to like 175. And at the same time, I transferred schools. So I went from an all guys school, all guys Catholic private school, to going to another school called Bishop Lynch. And it was a co ed school. So, being around dudes all the time, getting picked on, and then transferring to like this school where I was the new kid and I could talk to anybody and everybody, didn't have any preconceived, notions about who I was or I could be any way I wanted. It kind of like transferred my mindset. Then, fast forward a little bit into college. I don't know. It was like a groove I found. Like, I've always been very dedicated towards something. Fitness, baseball, business. I used that dedication. I was like, well, let me just turn it to myself. So it's like this intricate flow between looking back on my life and being picked on and being bullied and all that to like navigating who I wanted to be. So yes, I have this demeanor that I carry, but I don't know. I haven't always been this way. It's just a delicate balance of being who I want to be and analyzing past experiences.
And that's kind of how I feel too. Like my first 2 years of high school were miserable because I could not talk to a girl to save my life. My friends would bring me up to girls. The girl would literally think I'm cute, and I'd get up to her and just, I was that high. Brandon, my name is High. Like that's
the Eminem quote, "Hi, my name is."
Yeah. Literally that's how I was. So it wasn't until the end of my sophomore year. So I don't know what clicked in me, but I was like, man, I can't keep doing this chubby game is not for me. So I joined CrossFit, man. And this is when I was like really into soccer. I was trying to play college soccer as well. I think I got down to about 160, 165. I was shredded. And ever since when I got shredded, I was, Brent, new year, new you, dude. When I got a new body, bro, I had all the confidence in the world. So Colin, I want to hear your little story too before we move on, man. Like, what about your confidence? I know you're a little bit more quiet.
But I've always been that way, man. Kind of like in how he was saying, like in a no man's land where like I knew a lot of the popular kids, when I hung out with a lot of the like kind of music nerds and things like that, because that's my background. A lot of it has been fake it till you make it, honestly.
Hey, like you said, like we talked about in the other podcast, man, listen, I could walk in to sell something, know nothing about it, but I'm going to walk in with 100% confidence.
For sure.
That I'm going to close the deal.
Right.
That's a good topic. Ty, I'm going to ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
How do you think confidence translates into like business or like what you do? Like even talking about fitness, talking about all your real estate stuff. Do you see that it has a close assimilation to business?
Oh yeah, 100%. So in terms of confidence too, it's like, man, you have to be confident as well. Like you gotta know your stuff, right? I wouldn't be able to talk on the camera like this maybe 6-7 years ago, right? If you don't have confidence, people would feel that. Like no one's gonna click on your ad if you're a little awkward or like you're a little shy, you don't know how to talk to the camera, or like even if you're editing, your video is great, but if you're like your communication skills or the way that you communicate like your message, people can sense that. So confidence just plays a huge part in business, sales calls. I mean, I'm the face of like Asian Boss Boy, right? So if someone's going to get on a call with me, they got to know like, okay, they can trust me.
Yeah.
Or like real estate. If you don't know what you're doing with real estate, like, getting a permit, building, like a shelf or anything like that. Like if you don't have confidence, like you're not going to do a good job. So you need to have confidence with everything that you do. It just translates to everything. And, and then going back, it's like a full circle, right? Is, doing sales calls help me with my confidence. It helped me with communication skills. It helped me with like social skills. So like every conversation I have is almost like a sales call, right? Reflecting back to what the other person is saying, listening, like it just like it's intertwined. So I think like the most underrated skill to have is the sales. And then with sales comes confidence. So it kind of like it is intertwined with each other in that sense.
A lot of times when like I talk about with students or I talk about with just people in general, they fear the unknown or they fear the imposter syndrome. I talk about that a lot, like the fear of, hey, I by this time pretty confident in my marketing skills. But back then, about 5 years ago, I was like, well, what if I can't keep up with, the market, or what if I can't? What if people don't like the way I talk? What if people, when it comes to imposter syndrome, like, what do you tell people? People who are starting fitness, let's go there. Like, they feel like they shouldn't belong in the gym, or they feel like they don't belong in the gym. Like, what do you tell people?
Oh man, you gotta have people around you that's gonna support you. As cheesy as it sounds, like you gotta have people that are willing to help you. If you're doing this by yourself, you have no guidance. You have nobody there to talk to you or to get any help. And I personally dealt with imposter syndrome for a long time, right? Before even Asian Boss Boy, before coaching guys, I was helping like gamers, I was helping dads, ex-athletic dads trying to get into shape. And I was like, I don't even look like a dad. Like, I don't even have a kid. So that's like a huge imposter, right? I'm like, bro, like, why are you? And funny enough, I did get clients, which was weird. And I was like, okay, I can still do this. I had the ability to do this, but I just didn't look the part. I had long hair. I mean, the whole nine. Right? I was like, man, this guy looks like a chick. Like, why should I get coached by this guy? But in terms of like imposter syndrome, is trying to find people that support you, validate you, and say, hey, you're doing a good job. Like, keep doing it. You're crushing it, right? That just makes you feel good about yourself, and just to have almost like a role model / coach / older brother to help you out is really helpful for people who are dealing with imposter syndrome. I've also had the experience with helping guys, not with their business, but starting off with the mindset of like, okay, I don't know exactly what you're doing, but you need to change your mindset. You need to change your mindset around business, around yourself, and like have confidence with yourself, right? And that means like whether that may be posting content, knowing about yourself, knowing about your mission, like having a mission and purpose, bro, it changes everything. Because once you have that vision in mind, that's all you're thinking about. And the good thing about imposter syndrome, in my opinion, is that if you feel this way, there's always something that you can improve on, right? It's like, oh, I'm not the most shredded guy at the gym, but I want to learn how to get there, right? So just taking those small tidbits, understanding that you might not be perfect, you might not be where you want to be. I mean, heck, I'm not the most leanest guy. I'm not the most shredded guy compared to everybody else on IG, but everybody else is like, oh, I've seen your ads. I've seen you, I've transformed a lot of guys' lives. I mean, including Brandon right now, right? Brandon, you're working with me. You're not Asian, right? But we had a plan to get you, losing, 15, 20 pounds raise. Like, okay, that makes me feel good. I know that I'm doing something right, so just having someone there to guide you, to help you, having 4 or 5 guys really help you through this journey can really help you get started in your fitness journey and just start implementing. It's okay to fail.
I'm going to out them real quick, so that's okay. They did your leg day the other day, and they've been complaining for the past 2 days.
I'm in pain right now,
Dude,
my friend.
Those leg raises we did till failure, bro. When I stood up, I legitimately almost fell on my face in front of everybody at Planet Fitness.
So,
I need a video, man. I need proof.
Proof
But to bring it back, I think a lot of people truly do need like a partner, an accountability partner, and like truly, like they say, is you're a reflection of who you surround yourself with. So if you're going to surround yourself with a bunch of people who work out, and 4 of your friends go work out, and they're all on IG talking about they went to work out today, and you're on the couch eating McDonald's, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to put that McDonald's down and you're going to go work out. So I really think it's important to just have somebody that holds you accountable, because it's more fun that way. Because even the most disciplined people, like I like to think I'm a very disciplined person, but when I see that little notification on my phone that says Tai Pham, hey, that you didn't log in your breakfast yet, I'm like, oh, I need to go eat breakfast. Like that truly does help out. So yeah, so tell me this though, why only Asian American men? I just want to know why only those people, because you have an awesome product that I feel could help thousands and millions of people. So why are we holding it down to only that demographic?
Well, I just can relate more to Asian American guys on a deeper level, right? Because there's a reason why we want to get in shape, there's a reason why I want to get in shape. It was, to get the girls, right? To get attention from girls.
Yeah.
But then it's a deeper reason to it, right? It's like, hey, I want to be more confident. Okay, more confident to do what? And those same questions or issues that I've dealt with, I can definitely relate with like the Asian American experience because we've all dealt with it. I just resonate with that, and I can just talk about it all day long. With like I can definitely help dads or like I help minorities as well. I help a lot of other people. I work with people at the gym, but I just can't go deep with it. Like the issues with dating is a little bit different for Asian guys than it does for like white people or black people or Mexicans or Latinos.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, and we have this different mentality. We have this look that's very stereotypical, and that's the type of thing that I want to break down. And by no means that I can't help anybody else, right?
Yeah.
But I just choose to be, I want to help my brothers out. It's like looking at my cousin, like, bro, I know it can change your life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't listen to me, so I'm gonna help someone else out and show you that I can do this. So for me, I just love talking about my own issues, things that I'm still dealing with, things that I'm still working through. Let's say like dating and find that significant other. I can relate with that to any other Asian American guy. And in terms of fitness, in terms of nutrition, like also the food that we eat is totally different from everybody else, right? And I've never seen someone just, hey, I'll show you how to eat your favorite foods while still getting into your best shape of your life, right? How can you balance this? I haven't seen that. Even with all the other Asian guys on YouTube, it's like, yeah, here's me eating chicken, rice, and broccoli, my oatmeal. I'm like, come on now. I know you like pho. I know you like ramen. I know you like all these other foods. Like, why downplay it?
For sure. I've never seen anybody from my demographic say, hey, you can still eat red beans and rice and lose weight. So, so it's definitely a different thing for sure. For sure. I'm going to have to pull
100%.
up to Seattle soon to challenge you. But tell me how you gained the confidence to start breakdancing. That's what I've seen some videos, you spinning on your head and do it. I look like I hurt myself, bro. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ooh, how did I get the confidence to break dance, man? I honestly never thought I'd be a dancer. I've been dancing for, oh my God, 13 years now. And I honestly just want to look cool. One of the girls I had a crush on for the longest time. It's always a girl, man. Come on, it's always a girl.
Always.
She was a dancer, huh?
Yeah, always. So, I'll tell you this. Friend zone for like 5 years, trying to get her, and I could never get her. I was like, oh yeah.
Please tell me you got out the friend zone. Please tell me you got out the friend zone.
He danced his way out the friend zone.
Damn. You learned dancing and still took the L. Man.
Yeah, so I still stuck with dancing though. But that was like the catalyst of how I got started. It's like, hey, this girl I liked, she liked dancers. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna try break dancing, right? I was totally shit at it. I had to learn from YouTube. I didn't have a coach. I had to learn everything. It took me, 2-3 years to get good. And that's a long time to get good. But then I just loved it. I love competing. I love like the camaraderie. I love the brotherhood. I love the family aspect. Like, bro, I would be spending 3 hours a day dancing every single day with my boys.
The cardio's great.
And it was fun.
Cardio's good for dancing.
Yeah, so that's how I started, man. It was like from there, just love the craft of it, love the creativity. It was a different outlet outside of like fitness in terms of weight training and working out.
So I'm actually curious, how does that work? So when you go to compete, is it like a stomp the yard thing where it's like a group of guys standing on each side, or is it like just a 1v1 battle?
Stomp the yard.
And that Chris Brown.
Man, you've been watching a lot of movies about it. Yeah. It's very simple, actually. You just sign up. You just like, hey, you write your name down. Say, hey, my name is B-Boy Tyrant.
Yeah.
And you just call, and they have like a circle, right? It's called a cipher, and they have 3 to 5 judges in the panel, and they just call your name out. They call your name out. Hey, Ty, you're up against, let's say, Felix, B-Boy Scout, and or they do like a 3-on-3, 5-on-5 crew battle. Most of the time it was like with your crew, right? So it's most of the time with me and 2 of my other guys, other crewmates. and we just compete, you know? So that's how it really started. And then it goes from preliminaries, right? You battle everybody. You kind of, it's called a showcase round. The judges pick on who does well, and then they move on to either top 32, top 16, and then they just battle each other out. And then whoever comes out on top, you know, the judges are they can choose who is better in a sense, and then it's very subjective at that point.
Man, that sounds fun. I'm gonna have to get a flight, pull up, and watch you compete. It'll be fun.
Boy, you'd break a leg.
And I'm willing to bet you have no rhythm.
Damn.
Don't challenge me. I'm Cajun ball. I can find rhythm.
Oh boy.
Actually, that's funny you say that. My dad grew up in hip hop.
Oh, really?
My dad can break dance. I learned stuff over the years. You know, I'm the unsuspecting killer, dude.
Sniper.
Ty, when we pull up, he's gonna be the secret. Y'all's secret weapon. You're gonna
I jump out the crowd like over everybody.
Like, who's this white guy?
Everybody's DJ's gonna stop, and it's gonna stop, and everybody's gonna be looking at it.
And just bust out like a windmill or something.
Yeah.
This man says he knows how to dance, comes out and does a cartwheel.
That's funny. So I actually grew up like Latina dancing. Like we would go to a Latina club with my parents.
Oh, okay.
And we'd go. They call me the gringo white boy. So I had to learn. I learned a lot of different styles. Now I'm not like a professional contemporary hip hop style dancer. Like, you know, I'll do whatever I got. I can throw it down now and then.
Goes back to confidence. There you go.
It goes back to confidence. So Ty, I want to hear another story from you, man. Tell me your biggest obstacle growing up. I know it's probably your confidence, but is there one story that really changed your life to bring you into the person you are today?
One story that changed my life. Oh my God, there's so many. It's a lot. There's I think phases.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I think the coach that I mentioned, Mr. Lee, I trained with him for about 3 years, helped me become more masculine, which was when I was from like middle school to high school. And then, you know, the business side, when I started to get into fitness coaching, I joined the 1%. I have it actually tattooed on my wrist, the 1%. And pretty much it was a coaching community helping, you know, fitness pros trying to get into earning 5,000-10,000 per month. But it was more than just, you know, business and coaching and making money. It was really like a paradigm shift. Like I had to understand, who do I need to be successful, you know, from point A to point B. How do I get there? And it wasn't just about making money or like getting clients. It was really an identity shift. Like who I had to be this person. You know, if I had to be honest, I had no skills in like marketing. You know, you guys were surprised that I knew quite a bit of marketing. That was from this mentorship I learned. You know, I never did sales calls. I never did coaching. I never put myself on social media. That really changed the way that I thought of myself. And, you know, when you start recording videos, you hear your voice, you see how you look, and like, oh man, I look like shit. I sound like shit. You know, and then you have to change that perspective, right? And then you kind of build that confidence. And, you know, that was a big paradigm shift where I knew I had to be, you know, that new Ty, you know, kill off the old Ty and become the new Ty. That was probably around 2014, 2015. That was a huge paradigm shift. And then, you know, join the standard back in 2019, 2020-ish. That really helped me become associated with so many other guys. You know, I talk about the standard so much. I've gotten, you know, recognized by them, you know, being able to help and assist other men as well has been my mission, to be honest. And I love it. That has been a huge part of my life as well. Within a short period of time, like a year or two, you know, helped me with my confidence, be exposed to all the experiences, being exposed to you guys. Like I wouldn't be on this podcast without the standard, right? I wouldn't be able to connect with Brandon and then being connected with Ian and connecting with everybody on the team, which is so cool. And you just never know who you meet. And that has been a huge paradigm shift as well. Now I went from, you know, the new Ty all the way to I I feel like I am that Asian boss boy. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
You know, not to be cocky or anything like that. I just feel like I have a sense of purpose and I'm proud of myself. And there's always things that I can work on, you know? So when there's one story that I think about, it's this story is, I always go back to this Mr. Lee story. He would pick us up from school, pick us up. He would pick our bags up, just our backpacks. And we went 3 miles every single day back home. Every day, rain or shine.
So
doesn't matter.
He'd physically show up just for the bags.
Just for the bags, and he'll purposely drive to follow you to make sure that you get home safely.
That's crazy.
You know? So like that story is like all about resilience, all about discipline, manning up, and just doing the damn work. You know, and I always replay that. We always talk about it when I talk to my brother about this, Mr. Lee's son. Like we always get together. It's like, man, you remember when we had to run 3 miles every single day? That was shitty. That was real bad. I mean, we appreciate that. Like the hard work, the delayed gratification, bro. Like those times when I was young, like no one was doing that.
Yeah.
Right. The kid, no middle schooler, they would not make fun. I was like, damn, okay, that's Mr. Lee's students. You know, so I think that's one story that I have in mind that I always keep replaying over and over again.
And I know you kind of had a paradigm shift as well. When was that for you? Because I know now you have that just do it, get up and go, just freaking do it. Like, when did that paradigm shift happen for you?
Is this because of what I said the other day when I wouldn't go change?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, little backstory. So I was recording a YouTube video and I was like, oh, I'm going to go change. I'm going to go. No, I hadn't showered. Went straight to work. Shouldn't say that on camera, but I didn't shower that day. So I put my clothes on and went straight to work. And I had a coaching call. And I was like, all right, Brandon, Kyler, I'm going to record this video, but I'm going to go change first. Get outside, walk like 30 steps. And I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? Get your ass to start recording. So I went back in. I was like, I changed my mind. I said, I'm recording right now. So, you know, my paradigm shift for like, just freaking do it. And it kind of aggravates me. You know, like when you talk about YouTube or you talk about Instagram or you talk about marketing in general or growing a business or even starting a business. Yeah. One of the big topics I talk about is like, get off your ass, stop waiting for other people to tell you that it's okay to do this thing and just freaking do it. My first paradigm shift, well, it really boils down to two stories. The first story, my father, from like age 5, he pasted a sticker on my door. And this quote is seared into my mind. I'll never forget it. It's, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't. So like that was like the first realization that like my dad groomed me from a young age. Like you're going to be different than others. You have to be different than others. You have to think differently. He calls it court awareness. Court awareness is like the point guard's dribbling the ball down the court. He knows exactly where the small forward's at. He knows where the center's at. He knows the guy that's cutting, the guy that's throwing the pick. You know what your perspective is across the landscape. So like when I go into any situation, like I know like podcasting, you have to make sure like everybody's included, everybody doing different things. Like, so you kind of have to like shift and like you throw different scenarios around, or you like, so he taught me that at a young age, is like how to analyze a situation and make it most optimal. My second paradigm shift that I talk about was actually when I started Interraven. So I was still in college. I had just tore my labrum. So I went from Nebraska to New Orleans. From New Orleans, I went to another junior college here in Lafayette called SLCC. And it was a community college. I was just doing it to get a degree, something to pass by, nothing that I needed. I don't really believe in degrees. I'm pure experience based and taught myself everything. But I read a book, and the book that seriously changed my entire perspective on the world is Think and Grow Rich. That book, and I warned people, and I think I warned both of y'all, Kyler and Brandon, that it will, the ideas inside the book will monumentally change how you think about yourself and the world. Ty, I think you've read it, huh?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's so, it shifts, like it's like you're when you're looking out a window but you're behind the window and you see trees outside and you see people walk by. reading the book puts you in front of the window,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have a whole new world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like those breaking through barriers, limiting beliefs. I'm not going to ruin the book. I'll do a little video on it later, but
Yeah.
I highly recommend that book. That's what really shifted my thought process.
Yeah, so I do want to bring it back, Ty, to talk about the standard. So, how did you actually even get in the standard?
I've been following Hafiz and his podcast for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the self-improvement space,
Mm-hmm.
that paradigm shift that we've mentioned, like the things that, Ian mentioned with his paradigm shifts from very young and starting the business as well. I've always tried to research as much as possible and like self-improvement, reading books and just studying as much as I can. So I came across, the Roommates podcast. And, at first I didn't resonate, they're two black guys on the podcast. Like, I don't know if I can relate to them. Right.
100%.
Being very, I was like, okay, well, let me give it a shot. But they were talking about, confidence, dating, finances, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started listening over and over again. I resonated with them. I know I felt their message. And they were doing a live event in Dallas. And I pulled up, and I'll be very, very honest. I wanted to go there to put myself out of my comfort zone, talk to as many guys. Like I went alone. I traveled alone. I knew nobody there. And, I was probably the only Asian guy there.
Mm-hmm.
Out of maybe one or two other guys. Majority of the room was, black guys. I'm like, oh shit. And they're all tall, bro. I'm like, I'm only 5'5". So I'm like minority of a minority, and I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm going to talk to as many guys as I can.
Yeah.
I just want to put myself up there and just see what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
No expectations of it. And, it was a live podcast. I enjoyed it, watched the show. And then Hafiz and Joe mentioned, hey, we're launching a new company. We're having the standard. It's going to be 100 guys exclusive. You guys get a suit. And I was like, let's do it. I'm down. $500 for a suit and a community? Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. And I waited in line for about 3 to 4 hours just to talk to Joe and get my suit tailored. I didn't even talk to Hafiz. I went to Hafiz and got a photo, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, So I was the original standard 100, and now I'm like super close friends with like a lot of my friends, from the standard across the world, across the country, including you, Brandon, and it's been amazing. It's funny enough to talk about this because when you're in community, you kind of just see avatars. You guys just see photos and pictures and videos online. But now that I'm willing to get on phone calls, Zoom calls with anybody inside the standard that is willing to share their experience, talk about their story, talk about the struggle, and just have a good time, So the standard has really been monumental where I can give value, but also I can rely on my friends to really give me advice as well, and be associated with so many other people outside of business. I'm so grateful to be on this podcast, talking to you, Brandon, Ian, Kyle, everybody here is like, this is fun, and you never know what opportunities will come out of this. And it's always great to say yes to things and just try it, even though it might scare you. I've enjoyed it, going to different events, being exposed to different experiences, different people. Now I'm associated with people that are doing a lot better than me, right? That are killing it. I'm like, man, I want to get to your level. I'm always trying to learn, I'm, always try to humble myself and try to level up in every aspect of my life.
My grandma always told me to become comfortable, you have to become uncomfortable first. And then when you get comfortable, get uncomfortable again. You never want to be the smartest person in the room, and you always want to continue to level up. So I love the standard so much. I haven't been to a live event yet, but man, I can't wait to get out there. Like you said, like I think me and you are pretty good friends. I could fly to Seattle right now and hang out with you for a week, and I think it'd be seamless. The standard has just been life changing. And one connection, like you said, one connection can change your life. I mean, even from afar, Ian, how have you seen the standard affect me so far? Because you're involved a lot with a lot of the connections that I make with people.
Yeah, they bring up a good topic.
Mhm.
So, you know, you talk a lot about, and I've watched some of their YouTube videos. I'm going to bring up a topic before I answer that question.
Okay.
You know, you mentioned you are who you are who your 10 friends you hang around.
Yeah.
So like you can see specifically where your life's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like surrounding yourself. It's like I like to call it a mastermind community. They're not a mastermind community, but a mastermind is like you're in a room with 10 people. Each of those 10 people have different expertise in something. You know, fitness, business, real estate, handyman, podcasters, etc. And you talk about certain things that help you grow as an individual.
Yeah.
And I feel like since you joined it, you know, you've changed your perspective a lot in the way you think about things. And it's pretty cool to see that, you know, people are out there trying to help, you know, money, financial, mental, spiritual.
And that's a good point, because I really believe in today's society, a lot of people are trying to bring people down instead of bringing them up. So to have a community that's built on so much of like helping people and success and seeing your brother win is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and like you know, Ty, you talked about it a little bit. You know, sometimes you got to make the hard decisions, and what I mean by that is, you know, sometimes in business you want to bring your friends into it,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes your friends come to you and they're like, "Hey, can you help me with this?"
Mm-hmm.
But you know, sometimes you got to leave your friends behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you got to make new decisions, and sometimes you know, Ty and I talk about this a lot in some of our calls. Ty's very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ty. I'm not speaking for you,
No,
but
you're
and,
right.
And you know, I am too. So like, I had to skip out on a lot of family events to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to get to, like, I got a lot of scrutiny for it over time. But it's, you know, it's like that balancing of scale that I always talk about. How much are you willing to put into one side, knowing that that side's not going to go away, but later on it'll help them. And Ty talked a little bit about it. You know, what have you experienced, you know, with the friendship thing and, you know, leaving friends behind, gaining new friends? What do you think is like the most beneficial thing inside of new friends?
Having new friends is can change your perspective on a lot of things. My friends in particular, they're the homies. I think it's okay to have, you know, your homies, but you also have teammates. Your homies are there, you can talk about anything, but it's mostly surface level, right? Your teammates are there to help you with not only being your friend, but also assisting you with anything that you need help with. You know, so like I'll be very, very honest. You know, my friends are great. My homies, like my day one homies from, you know, middle school all the way to now, we've been friends for about 10 years. And I had a tough conversation with like one of my close friends about like, man, I want to, you know, I feel like we're not growing together. Like it was a very tough conversation. We were on the plane and he was honest with me. He's like, yeah, I think like sometimes we just don't want to hang out with you because of your energy. I'm like, what do you mean? You know, and long story short, like we had an understanding. I wanted to advance the friendship more and get on a deeper level and stop going from surface level, talking shit, talking about the old stories and make new ones. And some people are just content with that, which is cool. Like I'm not going to push you to join anything or to subscribe to anything, but I'm gonna keep you as a homie. I'm gonna love you from afar, and I appreciate you. I have no expectations. I was battling that for a long time. You know, I had a lot of resentment towards my friends. Like, man, why aren't you changing? Like, I feel like I'm doing good. I want you to join me on my journey. You know, I want to help you. I want us to grow because, you know, you're my bro. But then I had to be honest with myself. I had to talk with, you know, some of the guys inside the stand and say, yeah, you gotta love them from afar. You gotta love them from afar, have no expectations, and then bring people in that really appreciate you, that want to help you, and vice versa. So I have a lot of teammates. I have a lot of teammates that are assisting me. And, you know, unfortunately, I had to start doing this by myself. Like I had to go out, make new friends at the gym, like do things that most people won't do because I knew that if I didn't do this, I probably wouldn't get any better. You know, so if I listen to all of my friends like, hey, save money, don't spend money on mentorships, don't spend money on experiencing, man, I've grown so much from this. You know, what happens if I didn't do this? And from there, it's like I believe that making new friends and making real genuine connections is very, very important because I listened on, I think I saw this quote is your net worth is your network,
Yep.
right? So if you double up, let's say you double up your friend group and they're genuine friends of yours and they really want to help you. I mean, the more you're gonna make more money than you could ever imagine if you were stuck around 5 other guys, right? Now you're so associated with 2 guys that are killing it. Ian, who's killing it in the marketing game, right? Helping me out with my business, right? I'm able to bring you more clients or people that I believe that I can help, their business. Like, hey, we're all circling like money around this community. And I'm all for it. I'm not greedy about it. I'm like, hey, I have this guy that can help you. I think I can show you how to do this, and let's all grow together. And unfortunately, some people just don't have that mindset, right? You can, I'll go back to this. Like I have guys that are joining my team right now, and I'm like, man, all right, 2 days, you're slacking, you're out. This is business, right? I'm sorry, but this is for me. This is nothing personal, but also it's also something that you need to work on, right? If you can't fulfill this task, like what makes you think that you can be successful later? This is gonna be a hard lesson that I'm gonna show you right now. If you need to step up, you got to step up, or you're going to stay the same old person that you are right now.
I want to bring it back to something you said. You said your friends didn't like your energy. It's crazy in today's society. Positive energy offends people. I just don't understand. It truly astounds me. That positive energy, when you're in the room with somebody, and I forgot who told me this quote, but when you have positive energy and you're very confident in yourself, to people who don't want to grow, to sound like you're bragging. And
I'll go back to it. Actually, I'm a very energy type of person.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't always positive with them. I'm actually kind of negative around them. I had this vibe where it's like I'm not friendly. I have my emotions on my sleeve. So I feel annoyed with you. I'm gonna say it, or I address it. For with my homies, with my friends, I'm not always as positive. I'm like, man, like I don't want to hang out. I don't want to hear what you have to say, because it's childish.
So is it kind of because they didn't want to grow? That's why you became more negative?
Yeah. I'm like, man, I want you to get better. Like if I'm going out to a restaurant, like I expect you to have a dress code and look nice, right? It's just I mean, it sounds shallow, but people are going to judge you from how you dress and how you present yourself and the way you talk. So if you're not leveling that up, and I'll put it in the perspective as well. So I don't want to put them on blast or anything, but I want to paint this picture as they want to be in a relationship. They want to meet people. They want to have friends. They want to go on dates. Well, how are you going to do that when you believe that that person is going to appreciate me for who I am? Oh, come on. Like you got at least dress a little bit better, be a little bit more mature, and then you can attract the people that the girl that you want to attract. You can't just be like, I'm just gonna wait around and see if the right person comes around. Like, come on, you're living 2023 right now.
Yeah, unless you're Jeff Bezos, you can't show up in cargo shorts and a t-shirt and get a girlfriend. That's not how it works. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this guy is wearing shorts and t-shirts and sandals. I'm just gonna say that. So respectfully, like how is someone's gonna, come up to you and have a good conversation or go on a date with you when you look like trash? So I was upset about it. I'm like, bro, I know you can do better. Like I look at the guys that are like I'm around with. Like these guys are great looking. They dress well. I want you guys to do the same. I'm not here to say you got to wear a suit every single day, but at least like elevate your style a little bit. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
And and it brought me down. Like, man, I'm gonna move on.
There's a book,
and I brought the energy with me. I have in my sleeve.
There's a book called "Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus," and the cool thing about it is, I talked about this with my fiance, and I talk about it with a lot of my friends. The man has to change for the woman. You can't be content and like, I'm never like, if I'm in the party sequence, I used to party back in the day. If I'm going to keep partying and I want to find a girl that likes me for that I party, then you're going to find the same type of quality that in that person. You want to find somebody, and it's not changing who you are. It's changing your mindset and how you address that person. Or it's changing your mindset into becoming more of a man that's like that wants to, somebody would want to marry. So it's kind of like it always goes back to the balancing of scales. How much are you willing to sacrifice for the other person? Dress code, lifestyle, being clean, the way you think, the way you address them in certain situations. I'm going to go off on a little tangent. You're not always going to have an easy relationship. You're not. And a lot of times people get afraid and, are like, well, I don't want to have a problem in a relationship. I'm completely content with where I'm at. Well, then you're not content with growing or not content with, personal development. Everything in your life, from relationship to business to fitness to everything, correlates. And the book is called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And something you were saying about just the way you dress, your lifestyle. It shows the women can see that. Women can see when a man doesn't care. Yeah. Men can see when a woman is trying to trash her reputation. It's really interesting to look at it from a psychoanalytical perspective, seeing how people think about certain situations. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but
oh no, you're good. But yeah, Ty, we're almost run out of time. But before we go, to those people sitting out there on the couch that need to get in shape, be motivational for them. Give them some words of wisdom.
Motivational? I don't got anything motivational. My thing is, that's why I had the Tyrant series.
Yeah.
Is that you got to be real with people. If you're not happy with where you are right now, who does that new person have to look like? We always think about, I'll talk about something relatively new that's been happening with me and someone that I'm talking about. I'll go from the business side to the fitness side and talking to the guys I want to talk to. Is if you want to build a business, if you want to get into whatever venture you want to get into, and you really want it to be successful, but your actions don't speak louder than your words, you gotta change that, right? And how do you change that? Be around other people that help you, but you also have that guy in you, the what's that phrase? That dog in you,
that
right?
Dog
you have to want
dog.
it, because no one's gonna want it more than you.
Yeah.
Right? You can have all the resources that you have in place. You have coaches, you have someone there to show you everything. You're getting paid for doing your services. You're in it. But if you don't want it, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not working for it, bro, you don't deserve it. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say for the guys that are trying to get in shape and to be confident, to be that new person, is realize why you're doing this. Why do you want to get in shape? Why do you want that six pack? Why do you want to be confident? And imagine that new person. What does that new, let's say, new Ty have to look like to be successful, to be confident? What are the action steps that he needs to be to get there? Is that taking action and executing? Because that's going to outweigh all the things that you're going to be watching on YouTube, watching content on IG, TikTok videos. Just do it. Because the more times that you fail, the more lessons that you're going to acquire. And then from those lessons, you start to be more aware. You start to self-analyze. You start to understand your flaws, but also your strengths. So always paint that picture. Understand where you are right now, your point A. Understand who's that new Ty, new person had to be, which is your point B. So how do you get to that Asian boss boy status?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ty. Shout out your socials and your website for your business before we go.
Yeah, so I'm mostly active on IG. So it's Tai Pham, and then Asian Boss Boy on Facebook. And those are everything. You can always contact me, DM me on IG. Very active. I talk about fitness, talk about working out, and shifting into confidence and everything Asian American guys, issues, everything in my life. And I want to share and be very transparent with everything that I do.
Awesome. For everybody that's interested in Ty, it'll be in the link at the bottom of the YouTube video. Again, this is the Overloaded Podcast. My name is Brandon Nobe, your host, Ian Landry and Kyler Dorsey, and we out. Peace.